So you want to know how to form your business. Before you get started with high-ticket dropshipping, it's really important you have the right things set up in order to properly run your business and get set up with suppliers and set up your banking and all that stuff. And there's a list of steps you need to do in order to do that. My name's Trevor with eCommerce Paradise. I run a marketing and management agency for e-commerce businesses where we can actually build an entire e-commerce business for you and manage it completely, including customer service, sales, order processing, marketing, and scaling. So if you want more information on that, go to ecommerceparadise.com. I also have a free niches list available. So if you're looking for what to sell online, go to ecommerceparadise.com/niches or click the link in the description below and get that free niches list. But business formation is really important because you have to do it right in order to have success and to be able to do high ticket dropshipping properly and get banking set up. Number one, you need to have a physical residence somewhere in the US to do business in the US these days. They no longer accept virtual addresses or PO boxes or virtual office addresses. It's just not acceptable for banking and it's not acceptable for payment processors anymore. So you need to have a physical residence. If you're a non-resident, you can do business in the US, but you need to know somebody who has a physical residence who can give you a lease agreement. Usually it's a family member or a friend's family. So get that kind of connection going, and then you also want to get your EIN first in order to do that. Okay, and then, so for US residents, it's really simple, and I really highly recommend setting up an LLC for your e-commerce business, and I recommend setting up a separate LLC for each store. It's really good because you can separate your finances and separate your liability, and just be able to completely separate everything. So that's my first recommendation. My recommended provider for setting up an LLC is a company called Bizee, B-I-Z-E-E. You can go to my affiliate link and get a really good deal on the setup services, ecommerceparadise.com/Bizee. Link is in the description. And you can get an LLC in either Wyoming or South Dakota. That's where I highly recommend it, or just do it in the state that you're located in. But what I recommend is that you get set up in a state that has no franchise tax and no gross income tax on your business. Now, if you live in a certain state like California or whatever that charges income tax, or like will charge you income tax, make sure you pay income tax, you're gonna have to report an out-of-state LLC. So it's not really gonna help that much, but it always is a good idea to set up an LLC in a state that has no income tax, no franchise tax. It just makes it easier in the long run, especially if you want to move somewhere else. You don't have to set up a new LLC and all that stuff. So it's very inexpensive to set up. It turns out these days, South Dakota is actually one of the best places to form a business. It's also one of the easiest places to establish a residency. All you need to do to establish residency as a remote worker, digital nomad, is to go there for at least one night, stay in a hotel room or a campsite, and then get that actual invoice, and then set up a virtual mailbox with America's Mailbox. And then you go to the DMV, provide them those as well as your other information, and you can get a driver's license and establish residency in South Dakota. Now the benefit there obviously is no income tax and no franchise tax. It's also quite easy to get a seller's permit in South Dakota as well. Wyoming no longer allows businesses without a physical business address to establish a seller's permit in their state. So South Dakota is now the way to go. And for non-residents, you actually don't need to get a seller's permit in any particular state. You can simply fill out the multi-jurisdictional seller's permit form and just include your EIN number, which is quite easy to get, and you'll get it along with your LLC when you form at Bizee. And so that's all you need to provide to suppliers. Like that works really good for Canadian residents, and there might be things that change in the future, but as of the time of this recording, that's how it is. So you want to get your LLC and your EIN, have a physical residence, and then you'll be able to go to a bank and set up a business checking account. And I recommend using Chase, but it's up to you. You can use Bank of America, Wells Fargo, whatever, but Chase is great. I like Chase because they have a great suite of business credit cards as well, and they're really easy to use. Their online apps and customer service is wonderful, and it's basically the biggest bank in America, so you really don't have to worry about them going insolvent. Now, also, there's tons of other banks as well that you can use, but you have to have a business checking account for your business and each separate LLC, which is specific for each store. All right, now everybody asks the question, like, do you need to have the LLC the same name as your store? And you really don't. It's actually a good thing to have it separate because, what happens if that store doesn't work out and you want to start a new store? Well, then you can just start a new store and you don't have to change your LLC name. So I recommend setting up an LLC that is either like a alias or maybe just your initials. You can put the word enterprise after it or something like that, or marketing or management, whatever you want to do. And that kind of a thing will make it really easy for you to change stuff later on. So do that. All right, and then once you get a business checking account set up, I recommend setting up some business credit cards because that's going to be essential to placing orders with suppliers, paying for ad spend, all that stuff. I have a whole blog article with the best business credit cards that you should get. Chase cards, Capital One, and Amex are the banks that I use that offer the best credit cards with points and cash back rewards, which is key to making the most out of your business spend with your business. When you get these credit cards, you can put all your business spend through them, and then you can get these rewards transfer to travel partners, and then use it to get business class, long haul flights, and 5-star hotel stays for free, just with your business spend. You can also get sign-up bonus rewards as well. Sign-up bonuses are great. Usually it's around 100,000 points when you get a credit card, and you can use those points however you want, according to the program. So that's one of the biggest hacks for an American, is to sign up for business credit cards. So go check that out, ecommerceparadise.com/credit cards, and all my referral links are in there. You can check those out and get a really good sign-up bonus. All right, and then you're going to want to get some sort of a virtual address also for your business. Now, you'll be able to get one with Busy when they set up your LLC, but Busy's virtual address is actually not the best. I like to use Traveling Mailbox. Traveling Mailbox is great for having a really easy ability to get your mail and to read it and to move it around and stuff like that. Busy's virtual address is a little bit limited, but it's really good to have for your business address. And then what I do is I set up a separate Traveling Mailbox for my personal virtual address. Basically, I have a personal virtual address and a business virtual address, and I have a personal residence with my family. So Traveling Mailbox is my recommendation there. Makes it really easy to manage your mail wherever you are. My affiliate link is ecommerceparadise.com/traveling mailbox. I put it in the description below. Definitely check that out, guys, because that's one of the best ways to make sure that banks don't send mail to your physical residence, and so it doesn't bug the crap out of your family members and stuff like that. And it makes it really easy to manage your mail, especially getting credit cards and stuff. They can even scan the front and back of a new credit card for you, so you can right away be able to use it, and then they'll ship it to you. So Traveling Mailbox is the best, in my opinion. If you want more information on virtual mailboxes, definitely go to ecommerceparadise.com/virtual mailboxes, and there's a whole blog article on that. You can just check the blog as well. But yeah, the last thing you need is that seller's permit I was talking about. If you're a U.S. resident, you'll need to establish a seller's permit in one of the states. I recommend forming in South Dakota. Getting a seller's permit in South Dakota nowadays, that is the way to go. Make it really easy, no matter where you are. Of course, you'll need to get one in the state that you're located in, no matter what, because that's where you have a nexus. So if you happen to be living in California or Nevada or Texas, whatever, you'll have to get a seller's permit in that state. So just get one in the state that you're living in. If you don't live in a particular state, if you're a nomad, you get one in South Dakota. If you're a non-resident, like Canadian resident, use that multi-jurisdictional permit. Just use with your EIN to send to suppliers, because suppliers are always going to ask for a seller's permit. And that's about it, guys. Beyond that, obviously, for your store, you're going to need to get a Google Workspace, like a professional email, professional email address, and you're also going to need to get a phone number, a voice over IP phone number. So Google Workspace is my recommendation for that. For email, they're wonderful, really easy to set up. Go to ecommerceparadise.com/Google Workspace to get a very low price there. And for voice over IP, I recommend OpenPhone. OpenPhone gives you toll-free numbers for a low price, and there's no there's no cost per minute for incoming calls to your toll-free number. So that's the best thing about that. So OpenPhone's wonderful. I used to use Grasshopper, but they're very limited, and OpenPhone's just better altogether. So if you want to check that out, go to ecommerceparadise.com/OpenPhone. Obviously, you're going to need a Shopify store as well, and there's a lot more beyond that. Get your free Shopify trial at ecommerceparadise.com/Shopify. This is a platform that we use for all of our e-commerce businesses now and all of our clients. It's really easy to use. We have systems set up. And so if you're interested in getting a done-for-you store, go check us out, ecommerceparadise.com/turnkey. Or if you already have a store and you just want us to manage it for you, outsource and streamline it so you can work on other stuff, go to ecommerceparadise.com/management, check that out. And of course, happy to answer any of your questions. Call me directly at 206-504-6099. Email me, Trevor at ecommerceparadise.com. Get your free niches list and niche research guide at ecommerceparadise.com/niches. And I'm really happy to help you. So definitely hit me up if you have any questions and you need help with your e-commerce business or building one. Thanks so much, guys. See you in the next one.